This is Martin Giles of the Guildford Dragon News, and I'm with Nigel Baxter, who's a volunteer with Air Ambulance Charity, Kent, Surrey and Sussex. Hello, Nigel. Thank you for joining the Guildford Dragon News.
Good morning, Martin. Very nice to be here, and thank you very much for allowing me to say something.
So when did you volunteer for the air ambulance and why?
Well, I think it's coming up to about 7 years ago now, about 2 years before I retired from teaching, and I felt I needed something to do during my retirement apart from playing golf and being in the garden. So I've been doing my particular role for 7 years.
Okay, so how were you aware of it as an organisation and that you could join as a volunteer?
Well, because I've always been interested in aviation, I've been a bit of an aviation nut all my life. My father was in the Air Force, best friend was. I got my PPL in my 20s. And when I was serving as a captain in the local golf club, I was very aware of the charity fundraising that one could do. So I looked around for something in aviation and I read a local article in a magazine from a volunteer nearby. And I thought, well, that sounded good. So I contacted the air ambulance charity for Kent, Surrey and Sussex, and they welcomed me on board.
Okay, so describe your role in the team and any training you received.
So when they invited me down to their base in Kent, I was shown around the offices, shown around and met some of the pilots and paramedics and had a look at the aircraft, and then was shown a presentation which was the one they were using at that present time. They gave me lots of help, lots of encouragement, and gave me a chance to mirror some other speakers for 2 or 3 times before they launched me out on my own, which was fantastic. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so your role is not actually as part of the air crew.
No, I'm not part of the air crew. I'm not medically trained in any way. I'm purely a volunteer who is going out to the public, helping to encourage people to raise funds. Or in this particular case, we'd love actually to get more volunteers to come on board. But it's volunteers who are prepared to give their time and to go out and talk to the wider public. Maybe they don't want to talk like I do for presentations. For example, I might talk to a WI or a Brownies group or a school or a golf club. But there are lots of other roles as well.
Okay, without obviously compromising patient confidentiality, is there any incident in Surrey? I know you weren't directly involved, but is there any incident in Surrey you're aware of that you can describe and show how the air ambulance makes a real difference?
Yeah, oh, indeed. A couple of very close friends have benefited from the services, and namely one of the people in my own golf club, in fact. And he had a bad car accident in the village where I live, and the air ambulance was called very quickly through the mechanism of going through 999, and then the 99 call dispatchers are the ones that decide whether an air ambulance is correct to go out. And he was actually, his life was definitely saved by the attendants of the air ambulance, and he was taken to hospital. And yeah, to this day he's there and he's playing golf again, and it's fantastic to know that he was treated by them.
And possibly owes his life to the charity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, charity from the wonderful members of the public who have raised such enormous money, they're the ones to say thank you to, because if money wasn't there, you couldn't possibly have the paramedics, the doctors, and the pilots.
Okay, well, presumably it must be very satisfying for you to be part of that organization and feel that you are making that difference. And I guess you want to encourage others to either support it with donations or perhaps by being a volunteer.
Absolutely, yes. Obviously, monetary charity is an incredibly important thing, but I think it's also equally important that we have more volunteers. Particularly in the Surrey area, we seem to have a lower number than we do have in Kent and Sussex. That's partly historical because it started in Kent. But yes, we'd love more people to volunteer their time. And you don't really have to give an awful lot of your time. I probably do one thing a month. And although I like doing presentations to groups of people, there are many other roles like standing outside of a superstore, collecting with a can, or going to pubs and offices where they have a collect and can on the counter, which needs to be emptied and then banked. Going to country fairs, manning a stall, selling lottery tickets. I mean, there are so many different ways. I could go on.
Right. Okay, well, Nigel, thank you very much for giving us your time. And if I may, I'd like to thank you on behalf of all our readers for the service your charity provides. It is reassuring to know that in those emergencies, there is an air ambulance that can be called if required.
Yes, indeed, yes. And I would like to emphasize to all the public, just look up in the sky, and if the helicopter's passing by, say thank you. They're not coming to me, but really am delighted that the service is there for somebody else. So brilliant. Well done for everybody supporting it.
Thank you, Nigel.
Okay. Thank you, Martin.